Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunday League to Champions League. Chris here, aka Big Will, and today we have those two tough games for you. We are away against Yeovil and at home against Southend. They are 5th and 6th place in the league respectively, so this could be a couple of very tough fixtures. Since you were last with us, our form has continued to be very strong. Um, we drew 0-0 against Eastleigh, following those two wins in the previous episode. A 1-0 win away against Solihull, a 4-2 win at home against Macclesfield, a 1-0 draw away against Barnet, and a 3-0 win at home to Gateshead. We then rotated the team for the game in the FA Cup against National League North side, Hereford, and we lost 2-1. So there's going to be no FA Cup run this year. So from a financial perspective, we've just got to hope for the best in that we can get some good gate receipts out of our bigger away games, such as this game against Yeovil. And obviously when it comes to playing the likes of Southend and pretty much every one of the teams that we play against in November. So from a general perspective, things are looking pretty strong. We're still sat second in the league. And again, from a form perspective, we're looking pretty strong. It was just that draw against Barnet that dropped us down a place. Morecambe relentless in their form at the moment. It's just the conversion of that draw to a win that would see us with identical records. But going into these two games, I mean, Southend 5 points behind us, with Yeovil a further point behind us. It is still very tight in those playoff places at this stage. But I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better start to the season, to be quite honest. Like I say, I was hoping we'd finish in the bottom half of the table and just stay clear of a relegation fight, as were the board, incidentally. Um, but my word, what a fantastic performance we have seen from the lads so far. And to be quite honest, being out of the FA Cup, it could be a blessing. Yes, we would have liked the financial benefit from it, but it does mean that we can give full focus to our league form. The only other bit of news, Jaden Stockley, he wants more game time. He's not getting it realistically. We've reduced his agreed playing time from his contract as well. He is wanted by Oldham. There's been no transfer offers yet, but he has agreed that he wants to leave the club, which, to be honest, it is a bit of a shame. I thought he was going to be the key man this year, but the partnership between Hugh Parker and Tony has been exemplary. So realistically, he just wasn't going to be breaking into the team. We're back to full strength starting lineup practically. The only change in at centre back is realistically Bruder has come in. There is a good rotation between our centre backs at the moment, but otherwise, the first starting 11 is pretty much as it has been throughout the course of the start of the season. And going into the game, like I say, we just want to continue doing what we're doing. These two games are going to be tough, though, and I think this is going to be a true test to see the kind of quality that we have in the squad as well. Um, we've beaten some very good teams, the likes of Macclesfield, they're playoff chasers as well. We beat them 4-2, amongst one or two others as well. And the only league defeat we've had was that heavy thrashing that we received early in the season against Kings Lynn. So I think these next couple of games, plus all of the games that are coming up, obviously, in November, are going to be the telling time for us. Like I say, all the teams that we're coming up against are formerly of League Two. Um, so, from a general perspective, that promotion race is going to be very difficult. Um, but, that's what we're in here for. We're here to compete, and we'll just have to see how things go. Um, and eventually, we are going to have a decision to make. I'm really happy with Curzon. We've progressed phenomenally so far as Dembele picks it up on this right hand side, and Murray home back into Dembele. Murray home again into Dembele. Plays it into Sharp. Good 1-2 between the two of them. Can we get it into the penalty area? Yes, we can. Hugh Parker couldn't quite get it on target. It was well defended in the end with the deflection. And Parker, why is Parker taking the corners? We're going to have to change that. I mean, he swung it in. He should be the target man, realistically, as Bakari finds Parker again. Back into Bakari, and there's Parker again. I think he may have been offside, but he's found Charlie, and it's off the crossbar and out for another corner. It's come off the defender. Anyway, what I was saying, um, despite how well we're playing and everything like that, the board still refused to send me on another coaching course. And we're progressing really well with the team, but from a natural course of progression for myself, how long do we wait? Can we get the board to agree to give us this coaching badge? I mean, we're still sat on a National C license, and I get it in a way. The board don't want me to progress too far so that I leave, realistically. And I get it because I brought some good success to the club. But at the same time, from my progression perspective, I'm not going to be able to progress at all if I don't start making progress. So there could be a tough decision to make at some point. But, for now, we'll just stick and see if we can eventually persuade the board to give us that option. As Sharp plays it into the area, and Johnny Emerson is completely free, and Johnny Emerson has put us in front right at the end of the first half. It's a great time to score. I mean, the stands are looking a little bit bare, but Yeovil have got quite a big stadium realistically here as well. So again, it's these gate receipts that we need to really boost the finances of the club. And with some pretty big clubs in this league, I think from a financial perspective, we could be quite okay, to be honest, in relation to building the finances. Obviously, I mentioned about the FA Cup as well, but we are out of that now. But I do think that just from some big away games that we've got in this league, we could break even come the end of the season. Really good first half, very even first half, a little bit cagey at times. Obviously, we're coming off the back of that FA Cup defeat, but the first team didn't play in that game anyway. We'll tell the lads to keep doing what they're doing. It was a good first half performance. We just need to try and build on it as Lindsay plays it into Emerson straight from kickoff. And again, I don't know why they show the kickoff as a key highlight. I think it's a very odd thing, that one, to be honest. Yeovil looking to build from the back here with Abdul Salam into Watts. Good interception from Jamari Lindsay. Cuts inside, finds Hugh Parker. Good hold-up play from him. Finds Malachi Sharp. Down the right side, he's got Dembele in support. Swung into that far post. Emerson, great control. Plays it in, and Charlie was there, and it's blocked by the defender, I believe. And it has gone out for a throw. But again, really well-worked move. Hugh Parker dropping deep, laying off the pass. He's really settled into the team superbly, hasn't he? I mean, between him and Tony, they're not far off being up to 20 goals between the two of them for the season. And I think they're at 17 at the minute, I think it is. But, I mean, considering the start of the season we've had, I think that's phenomenal. As Barrington, with the effort there, he's got to be hitting the target realistically. And luckily, Cooney wasn't actually tested from that attempt. But Yeovil just trying to grow into the game and try and put the pressure on as Charlie switches the play to Emerson, who's found space again on this left-hand side. Can he get the crossing? Really good run from him. He needs the support. Finds Jamari Lindsay, who swings it into that far post. Sharp couldn't quite win the header. Murray Holm picks it up now. Chance to get it into the penalty area. Lays it back to Malachi Sharp, and he fires it home. It's 2-0. Both wingers on the score sheet. And again, we defy expectations. Eventually, I'm going to have to stop saying that we're defying expectations and just admit that we are good enough to be in a promotion fight this season. But I still expect us to start dropping points at some point and start struggling. But we just keep at it, game in and game out. But of course, the starting 11, we're not changing it. We're hardly changing it per game. It's just one or two players rotate in and out on occasion. So the lads are getting plenty of game time. They've got that match sharpness to them and they know how each other play. And I think, to be honest, that's going to be the key thing as the season goes on. It's just maintaining that balance. As Powell tries to get down the left-hand side, finds McGavin in the penalty area, back to Powell. Dixon Bonner with space to strike. And it's a lovely finish from Dixon Bonner. And Yeovil straight back in it after we extended our lead. So Yeovil right back in it there. What, a minute or so after we took a 2-goal advantage. And I think we just lost our shape slightly there, which has led to that goal being scored. It was a good finish nonetheless, but defensively, not quite as tight as we need to be. But at 2-1, we still have the lead. All three attempts on target, incidentally, in the match have been converted. So hopefully the next one is going to come to us as well. Bakari with a good header. Sharp couldn't quite beat Powell to it, but Dembele picks it up and just lays a pass to Malachi Sharp. Chance to get down this right-hand side. He's launched it forward, and Parker, with great control, beats Armin. And Parker's strike has took a huge deflection off Cousin Dawson, and it's come off the woodwork, I think. I'm not sure if the keeper saved it or not, actually, but I think that came off the post. But that was almost a brilliant effort for 3-1. And it's been a very, very quick start to the second half by both sides, incidentally. Match fitness-wise as well, we're looking okay at the minute. Just keeping an eye on the ratings at the bottom there as well. Because obviously, like I say, we rested all the lads for that FA Cup tie. But with that game against Southend coming up, we do have to keep in mind that we are going to have to potentially rotate one or two of the lads in to the team today. Charlie is apparently pleased with his body language, is pleased. A bit of a strange one. Rating 6.5 though at the moment. He's not having the best of games, so we're going to get Lemony Evans on, get that experience in there in that central midfield. And Tony has had a bit of a quiet game, to be honest, as has Hugh Parker. So we'll give Jaden Stockley another run out today. I am going to try and get him off the bench a little bit more often, but again, from a starting perspective, he's yet to score for us. So it is a bit of a difficult situation with him as things stand. In terms of other player fitness, to be honest, there's no major concerns there, is there? So I think we'll probably just leave it as is. Obviously, Sharp and Emerson have been the best performance for us today. And let's see what can happen here. We've got a set piece to be swung in by Emerson on this left-hand side, as one of our substitute players just gets in his way there, just walking around the corner flag. And swung in there by Emerson. It's a header from Stockley at the near post, and he couldn't quite get it on target. But that's what we brought him in for. We brought him in to be that aerial presence, but it's just not quite happened for him. Every time he has played, he's just not quite got going as of yet. But obviously with Parker and Weston being in the scoring form that they have, it's been very difficult for him to break into the side, as I've mentioned before, I am sure. Here's Bruder holding on to possession, plays it to the left-hand side. Emerson again picking it up. Chance to play it down the line if he can. Finds Lemony Evans. Plays it over the top, and Stockley is in, and he couldn't quite play it first time across, which is unfortunate, really, as Emerson cuts inside, and that's a lovely goal by Johnny Emerson. I mean, he scored that with his left foot, and considering the tight angle that he had there, he's done superbly to get that into the back of the net. And Stockley, I mean, it's a bit of a strange one. He's been given an assist there. A lovely little jink inside from Emerson. Completely dumbfounding the defender. And a lovely finish. Brad Young, I mean, he couldn't do an awful lot about it in the Yeovil goal there. Stockley credited with an assist for that, which is a little bit of an odd one because he played it out to get across it, I would have thought. But there, 3-1 up away at Yeovil. What a result this is going to be. Cooney managing to make the claim quite comfortably there and rolls it out to Dembele. And he plays it forward first time as Hugh Parker controls it ahead of Armin once again. He's got support there and he decided to try and get the strike away. And Brad Young, very well positioned, incidentally, and claims it with ease. Launched back forward. Bruder wins the header and finds Lemony Evans. And it looks like we're just going to see the game out at this point. Again, we've been the better team against a side that I would have said we could have struggled against, realistically. But again, we keep defying these expectations. That's a really, really big result away from home. I mean, eventually something may happen, but I can say that every episode, and so far it just hasn't. We still sat 2 points behind Morecambe. They are relentless at the moment. And the next game is in 7 days' time against Southend. So we are going to take a little bit of a break here. Bear with me and we'll come back for that game. And hopefully we can maintain this fantastic form. I mean, I've got no reason to doubt us at the moment. Will it continue? Let's hope so. Okay then, guys, here we go for the game against Southend. More of the same is what I'm asking for, basically. There's not too many changes in the first team lineup again. Crooks is coming in at centre-back, but other than that, as per usual, the team is as it normally is. Because of our good form, though, we are starting to get interest in our players. Samuels is wanted on loan, but he's our backup left-back. West Tony's still wanted, but Malachi Sharp is also wanted now by Cambridge. So we're starting to get some interest in some of our players, and we are going to have to be a little bit careful when it comes to the transfer window, that it doesn't come back and bite us a little bit, because obviously we need to keep the core of the team. That goes without saying. But these lads are in really good form, and they are staple parts of why we're doing as well as we are at the moment. So it could be an interesting scenario if we do get some interest in our players. The thing is, as well, these players are key players for us, but from a financial perspective, if we're able to sell them, all the money is profit. And if we can get good amounts of money as well, it could lead to bigger and better things going forward. So there could be some tough decisions to make come January for sure. And we'll just have to wait and see how things develop from there. But overall, I'm not complaining too much because, like I say, everything is going in our favour. In terms of Southend's setup here, they're quite defensively set up. Realistically, they've got the two strikers though, with the two progressing central midfielders and wing backs. But of course, with the form of our wingers, we could very much catch them out on the counter attack today, and that is pretty much what I'm going to be hoping for. Um, in terms of everything else, there's been no new concerns. And I think that's also part of our success at the start of the season. Malachi Sharp's had a couple of knocks, but other than that, from a first team perspective, we've had no injuries. Um, Sharp does get caught on the ball there, played over the top to Brayson, who holds it up well. They've got so many players arriving in support, and Courtney Clark puts Southend in front. And I mean, they swamped the penalty area there. And we may have to be a little bit careful defensively here. They absolutely charged in, didn't they? They had 5 players arriving when Brayson got hold of the ball. And in the end, it was a comfortable finish. Clark had the run on the defender, unfortunately. So realistically, we weren't going to be winning that. But Southend take the lead, somewhat against a run of play as well, based on the match stats. It's their first attempt at goal compared to our 4. So we'll see if we can grow into the game and get back to winning, get back to that winning mentality, of course. We do want to at least get something out of the game just to maintain our current run. But I'm not begrudged if we do lose the game. Realistically, we're playing teams that are better than us, but we are performing so well at the moment that you get used to winning. That's the thing. And then when you lose, it is disappointing. But we've got to remember that we are performing far above the level that we should be. As Parker finds Malachi Sharp coming down that right hand side, plays it into Tony, and that's a lovely finish from Tony Weston. It's a really, really good finish, incidentally. I mean, Malachi Sharp did well on that right hand side, but he got the curling effort onto that there, Tony, and that's a lovely finish. I mean, Sharp played the pass at the perfect time as well. First time hit, and the keeper very well beaten. And we do find ourselves level at the perfect time as well, just before half time. And that could very much change the team talk somewhat for Southend, but it's also a lot more positive from our perspective. Again, performance-wise, we've been by far the better team. Can we continue that? We'll tell the lads just to keep doing what they're doing, because realistically, even though we are level, it's been a good performance so far. And again, as I mentioned before, we could catch them out on the counter-attack with the wingers, and that's exactly what happened through Malachi Sharp there. So hopefully we can find a way through once again in this second half. Um, and again, touching on the subject I was on previously about the progression, the board are still not letting me go through with another coaching course. It's something I've got to request again. And how far realistically can we go? It's a very difficult situation. And the other thing I'm slightly concerned about, of course, with our key players attracting interest from League Two clubs at the moment, as Murray Home latches onto that Bakare header and finds Hugh Parker. I don't want any of our players to become unsettled, realistically, with interest from these better teams. Oh my word, Tony Weston. Malachi Sharp with a lovely delivery, but Tony trying an overhead kick. You very rarely see that at this level, but that was a brilliant effort from Tony. I mean, he couldn't get it on target. I mean, if that had have gone in, I mean, he'd have been a club legend instantly, wouldn't he, surely? And that's a good header from Hamilton, but luckily from our perspective, there was no one to latch onto that as Bakare lays it back to Cooney. And now Lindsay. absolutely hammering down with rain at the moment today as well. Emerson does well to win it back off O'Connor. He's got support arriving in Hugh Parker. There's the cross, and Jordan in the end with the clearance. I mean, he could have driven that across a touch earlier, realistically, and Parker was completely free. And that should, that could have and should have been 2-1. We're just going to pause there for a moment. Hugh Parker, incidentally, has been a little bit quiet today. So we are going to get Jaden Stockley on. Incidentally, he has now come to me and said that he's happy with his game time. I don't really know which way round it's going to go with him at the moment. Samuels is going to come on for Lindsay, who's had a little bit of a quiet game, and Charlie is going to come off for Lemony Evans as well. And I think for now, we're just going to leave it at that. We do have a couple of other options that can come on, the likes of Bolger and Bruder are sat there on the bench if we need that more experience in the midfield. We've got the energy in the squad for sure in that midfield, and that has certainly helped matters as well. We can keep at teams. I mean, Southend, one shot on target they've had, which was that header that they scored. We've had 8 attempts on target so far. We've completely dominated this match. And again, we're being very creative in our chances. It's just, can we find that winning goal? We've done really well to do so throughout the whole course of the season, but they're proving really hard to break down. Duerden and O'Connor, their match ratings tell the story. 7.1 for Duerden, 7.3 for O'Connor, as Bridge finds Dashi and now Hall into Clark, the goal scorer. He gets down that right-hand side, plays it in, and Brayson has scored for Southend right at the death. And that is so against the run of play. Samuels didn't cover himself in glory there, the substitute left back. He just couldn't get at Clark realistically there. And from a central defensive perspective as well, Crooks let his man get away from him as well. We don't deserve to be beaten today. I'm not too disheartened by the performance either, realistically. We've done really well today, but, you know, we've just not quite managed to find the back of the net, which for only the second time this season has been the problem. Here's Emerson, though, down this left-hand side. He's got support in the area. Can he find it? And it's bundling around in there, and they do somehow manage to get it clear. And again, just a little bit unlucky that we've not managed to score more today. I mean, those match stats, the term is we've been FM today. Southend somehow managing to claim a victory there. Those match stats are insane in comparison. And again, we've done really well in the match. And yeah, we've just got to keep doing what we're doing. I'm not disheartened by that result. Southend are a good team. We've been the better side, but we've just not quite been able to get the goals to win that match. And incidentally, if we had won the match, we'd have been level with King's Lynn and Morecambe. Morecambe actually dropping points away at Boston. So we've missed a little bit of an opportunity there. And again, we've got some really tough games to come as well. Western End's goal drought. I can't imagine it was a big goal drought. What, three, maybe 4 games, if that. But we have seen a little bit of a struggle with our strikers in the last couple of matches. Even the likes of Hugh Parker has struggled a little bit recently, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not too disheartened, like I say, and we'll see what happens in the next episode. We've got some massive games coming up. I mean, Morecambe fighting it out at the top of the table, but it's only a few games away. So we'll probably get through November, see what things look like from there, and then we'll come back at the start of December. Boston and Woking. We may end up with other fixtures being lodged in there, depending on what happens in other tournaments as well, because there's an FA trophy that still needs to be drawn as well. And yeah, we'll come back for those 2 games there probably, and hopefully we can still be in a title race, because these 5 games I am a little bit concerned about, but it could be a very interesting turn of games if we can get some good results. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.